Hi guys! In our previous video, we covered the classification of vertebrates. We have also covered the classification of invertebrates. In this video, we are focusing on much tinier creatures. Or perhaps one of them is not even, I can't confidently say that it's a creature, but yes, in your IGCSE exams, they cover these three. There's the fungi, there is bacteria, and there is the virus. I'm also going to put pictures here for so that as you imagine it, it's easier for you to remember. There's the mushroom, the bacteria, and the virus. The mushroom is the fungi. Okay, let's start with fungi first. So fungi or fungi, depending on which part of the world you're from, they have these structures called hyphae. And hyphae are basically thread-like structures that help the fungi absorb nutrients. So what happens is that enzymes are secreted from the hyphae through the mycelium, and then it breaks down, for example, bread the mold that forms on bread. It breaks down that food into nutrients that can be absorbed by the fungi. Okay, so this is the structure that you would normally see in your IGCSE books or notes, but this would be the typical structure. This filament here is the hyphae, again to absorb nutrients. And the structure that I mentioned just now, mycelium is basically that network that the hyphae forms at the end there, this part. So again, the same function, they secrete enzymes and absorb the nutrients. Fungi is not a plant, but it has a cell wall. And the difference is that this cell wall is either made of cellulose or something called chitin. But if you have to choose one, please go for the chitin because the cell wall is predominantly made of chitin when it comes to fungus or fungi. Okay, so remember to go for chitin, okay? Fungi, they have nuclei, which I will show you later. And another way to distinguish fungi from plants is that fungi don't have any chlorophyll. So remember, no chlorophyll, and they don't have seeds, but they have something called spores. So fungi have spores. Okay, let me draw the spores up. The spores are usually there, and the nucleus is right there. Okay, so if you have to label, just remember the structure. Okay, so that's it for the fungi. Let's go to bacteria now. Bacteria are very, very small. You cannot see them with the naked eye. So they can be 1,000 times smaller than plant cell. Okay, bacteria, how is bacteria different? Well, they also have a cell wall, but it's very different from the cell wall of a plant or fungi because their cell wall doesn't have chitin nor does it have cellulose. Instead, it has something called peptidoglycan. So remember, peptidoglycan is the component that makes the cell wall of bacteria. And bacteria, they don't have a nucleus. Remember that bacteria, they don't have any nucleus, but they do have their genetic material, the DNA inside, which is in a single coiled chromosome. Let's draw that up there. Single coiled chromosome. Bacteria also have this structure around it, the slime capsule. You see the slime capsule. The slime capsule is sticky, so it helps it stick to surfaces and it also protects the insides of the bacteria. And lastly, some bacteria they have a flagella, the tail-like structure. The flagella, which helps them with locomotion or movement. Let me draw it out. So they can have a single one or double. Yeah, but some bacteria have that. Let's move into the virus, the most unique group, and you'll find out later. So the viruses, they're very, very, very small, smaller than bacteria. In fact, they're so small that they have to be measured in nanometers. In nanometers. Okay, sorry, that's a one word. Nanometer is actually one word. Okay, they're so small that they have to be measured in nanometers, and a virus doesn't really have any typical structure. So usually we draw it out with that spiky protein coat and all that, but a real virus doesn't have any typical structure. However, it does have an RNA or DNA inside it. RNA is ribonucleic acid, DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. So it has its genetic material inside, but it doesn't have a typical structure. And a virus has a protein coat. See those spiky things surrounding it, the protein coat. The protein coat protects the virus and it also helps it attach to hosts. The reason why I say the virus is very special is because they're unique. Like scientists still debate on whether a virus is a living thing or a non living thing. Is the virus alive or is it dead? If you remember in one of my videos, we studied the characteristics of living things. Well, the virus doesn't fit that criteria. The only life process that it performs is reproduction. Besides that, it has no life processes. And even the reproduction, which is the only life process that it does have, it's quite unique. The replication process is unique. And the reproduction or that replication only occurs when the virus is inside a host cell. So it relies on a host cell to carry out that um, reproduction or replication. So, again, what exactly a virus is still a mystery, and maybe you are the one who will discover that in the future. Maybe you can define a virus. We still have much to explore.